Where are we going, Abby?
Africa.
Africa!
I got some chocolate.
Ew. Hey everybody, my name is Erin. Welcome to my beautiful unschool life. The girls and I are getting ready for the trip of a lifetime. We are on our way to Uganda for 10 weeks to visit a friend and his kids, and we're going to be teaching them how to unschool. But before we get to Uganda, I have to travel for 2 days during a pandemic with my 2 crazy children and no other adults. It's just me. I've done quite a lot of traveling in my life. I backpacked around Australia. I did a trip around the world. I traveled all through the States and Canada. So I'm no stranger to planning trips. And I've also traveled with the girls before. We've taken them to England to visit their grandparents a couple of times. But this is still a first for me, and it's still kind of intimidating. I went to a couple of my friends for advice who travel often with their children, and it was useless because their kids are just normal kids. My kids are not normal kids. I can't just tell them to control themselves and expect them to control themselves. That is not within their skill sets. They are not capable of controlling themselves without help from outside. And of course, when you're in an airport and there's lots of people and there's adult expectations and it's during a pandemic, so you have to stay away from people and you have to watch what you touch. This is just asking for disaster. We're gonna have about 4 hours in the airport. We're gonna have 13 hours on the airplane, another 4 hours in another airport, and then 2 more hours on another airplane. So to me, the best way to tackle this is like a good girl guide, be prepared. So I thought I would show you what I have in place for this, and we'll see if it works. So first things first, my children are runners. When I ran a daycare, I had a little guy who was such a runner that when we went out in public, I would just write my phone number on his hand. And that way, if he ever got lost, people would know how to return him to me. Thankfully, we never needed it. But you can never be too prepared. So these are just luggage tags that my kids thought were really cool. And then lanyards. And on the luggage tag, instead of luggage information, I put my phone number and their father's phone number so that if they get found, someone can return them to us. Next, we have 1, 2, 3 carry-ons. I need the girls to carry some of their own stuff because I'm not Superwoman. I'm close, but I'm not Superwoman. So this is Abby's carry-on. I had a hard time finding one that's just the right size for her, to be honest with you. She has a water bottle, but there's no water bottle carrier in hers. So I'm really hoping that I can convince Bethany to carry Abby's water because Bethany's has wheels. So I know that she can handle it. So let's see what I got in these bags. Most importantly, sanitizing wipes, Kleenexes. And this is new. I've never bought masks before, but I'm really worried that they're not going to sleep enough. We have to leave our house crazy early in the morning. I got the flashlights that hang and that have a magnet because when they're in the airplane and they turn all the lights off and they're like, I can't find my stuffy. This bad boy right here. So hopefully they can find their own stuff. So that's all been put in this front pocket because I want it to be easily accessible. And then one other thing we've done is we had a couple of old cell phones lying around. And so we have repurposed them for the kids, and we're going to fill them with episodes of Paw Patrol and My Little Pony and little paint games that they can do. So the phone will be something good that they can use when we're in lineups and they have to, you know, stay in one place and be patient. So that's going to go in that pocket as well. In the main part of the bag, they have been allowed to bring one stuffy each. This is the bags of travel toys. We sorted these out the other day. I can show you that video. So I bring toys when we travel. I'm sorting through our pile of toys and I'm finding all the littlest ones. These guys here. I call these travel toys. So we are gonna divide all the toys between these two bags.
I want to put my toys in here.
Wait, hold on a second. I need you to listen to me. Just because the toy is in the bag does not mean it is your toy. The toys are everybody's to share, okay? But when it goes in your bag, that means it's your responsibility to take care of. And remember, anything that comes with us, we might not bring it home again. If we do lose something, that's it. You won't get it back again. So if there's something that's too precious for you, you should leave it at home. So they each have a bag of travel toys. This is for when you're at the airport and you've already gone through and you're just sitting outside of your boarding gate for like an hour and a half waiting to board the airplane. That's what this is for. This is for 13 hours on an airplane. That's what this is for. It's toys that I don't mind us losing. That's the number one thing. And toys that they haven't played with in a while, so it has novelty. And then the last time we flew, the airport didn't provide blankets, so I got these little travel blankets that have a hood and a mitten. I didn't buy a lot of things for this trip compared to what I wanted to, just because we're in a lockdown right now, so it was really quite hard to go shopping. And then the last thing in Abby's bag is a coloring book and some crayons. I haven't looked in Bethany's bag yet, so I'm really interested to see what she put in there. So she has in the front pocket the same things that Abby had. In the main pocket, she has a travel pillow. I will be carrying Abby's travel pillow. Bag of toys. Definitely more stuffies than she's supposed to have. And her pencil crayons, her blanket. And we made these coloring books. She wanted a unicorn coloring book, and I didn't have a unicorn coloring book, so I made her one by just printing out a bunch of pictures from Google. So now, for my carry-on, the best advantage of being a woman is you get to have a purse and a carry-on. And I usually have a very small purse, but like for this situation, I big upped a little bit. So these need to be on me at all times. These are sound canceling headphones. Toilets that flush automatically are my nemesis. They're like, the children will pee on the floor before they will go into a bathroom that has toilets that flush automatically. So we've been working on this when we were doing some shopping for this trip. I took them into the bathroom in Walmart where they had automatic flushing toilets, and we had to calmly talk through the science of a flush toilet. I had to show them the motion sensor, teach them how the motion sensor works. So they're not quite as scared as they were, but it's still these. I need these, and they're in my purse. This is like stuff that I need readily available with one hand. Those. Obviously front pocket has passports and so on and so forth. Main pocket, sanitizing wipes, Kleenexes, and a deck of cards and a book about Africa. Like most mothers, when it comes to packing, my focus has been almost exclusively on the children. I just kind of forgot about myself. So I think there will probably be more things in there eventually, but for now, that's what I got in my big bag. So this is where the magic happens. Side pocket whole tub of wipes. Yes. Other side will be my water bottle and Abby's pillow. Front flap. Primary position. Wet wipes. Front bottom pack. Again, primary position. Flashlight. Extra masks. An extra bag, because you always need an extra bag. Band-aids. You can never have too many band-aids when you travel with my children. In the main part of my bag, electronic stuff. I try to keep it all together in one place. So headphones for both of the girls. And I also made sure to get this doodad here. This is a headphone splitter, because guaranteed whatever one child is watching, the other child will want to watch it too. So this way they can both watch it and hear it through their headphones at the same time. Worth every penny. There's a pillow for me. Both of my girls are mostly toilet trained, but the last time we flew, someone suggested this, and I'm like, I'm doing that every time from now on. Sometimes on an airplane, you're not allowed to get out of your seat because it's turbulence. If a kid needs to pee, they're gonna have to pee in their pants, and then you're gonna have to deal with that problem. Hell no. Pull-ups. Pull-ups. That's gonna save me some hassle later. And in here is two sets of clothes for each girl. Like shorts, pants, t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, socks and undies in both bags. I have those in case something happens on the airplane and they need to change their clothes, and I also have them in case we get to Uganda and our suitcases go missing. At least they've got something to wear. And then my computer is in there as well. And that is it. That is what I pack in our carry-ons to help prepare for the trip. And I will do my best to record how we do it in the airport so that you can see whether I prepared enough. 12 hours to departure, and I'm giving a chicken a bath in my basement. How you doing, Spirit? Just look at how much stuff I'm carrying, Abby.
I'm a traveling
Watch out for
spirit.
people.
I've seen many shores, from the West Pacific to the island of Kenya.
He's helping the pilot steer. The pilot has to come in right at the exact right place. See, he waves one hand when he tells him to
I still
switch
feel
up.
that I'm alone.
Not yet, no, not yet.
I'm alone. I'm alone.
Okay, now girls, where are we going?
Leave me stranded, I know how.
That is quite something. What's on there, Abby?
My own.
Butter and chocolate.
My own.
Oh.
Move out the way! I said move out the way!
What are you yelling about? There it is, the sun rising over the Sahara. It's very bright.
I have learned that no one else can carry this load. It's a train where I'm the only passenger on board. Oh, there is beauty to enjoy on this road, but even so, I still feel that
In Uganda.
I'm alone. I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all.
So I still haven't posted the video of packing for the trip to Uganda, and I am currently packing for the trip home from Uganda. And I thought I would just tack a little bit on to the end of the video about
what a completely different story it is when I'm going home, because we're all just so eager to get home. And this trip is harder. This trip is harder than the other trip. We actually have a much longer journey because we have to go to Dublin to refuel. But honestly, I'm just like, whatever. Throw it in wherever it fits. We'll be fine. We'll work it out when the time comes. So, wish me luck.
My own.
So I'm home now, back with my chickens and my ducks. So on the way to Uganda, I was supremely organized for the flight. And on the way home from Uganda, I was not organized at all. I just threw everything in the bag as best as I could the night before leaving. So the question is, was the intense packing necessary? And I'm gonna say, for the most part, I'm glad that I organized it that much. The things that we didn't use for the flight, we definitely used when we got there. So like the lanyards, for instance, that I had around their necks with their names and their numbers on it, thankfully we didn't need that. We were together the whole time. We never got separated. The airport wasn't very crowded at all because of COVID, so it wasn't really a concern. But when we got to where we were staying, we actually used them to hang the flashlights above our beds so that we had sort of like a bedside light. So I was really quite glad that we had those because we used them quite a few times for various things. The Kleenex and the wipes and the flashlights and the phones were all things that we used quite a lot. Not just on the flight, but also when we got there. Now the phones, we actually did not have the phones for the trip home. One of them we gave away and one of them we lost. So on the trip back, we didn't have phones, and that definitely created some difficulties because they wanted to use my phone, they wanted to use my laptop. Luckily I had two things to choose from, but it meant that there was nothing left for me to use. The headphones with the splitters, they came really in handy. Again, not just on the flight, but when we were there. And we were glad we brought the toys. We used them a little bit in the airport and a little bit on the airplane. And we used them a lot when we were in Uganda. And hardly any of them came back with us. So I'm really glad. Remember when we organized the toys, I said to the kids, be prepared that whatever you take with you might not come back. I would say like 75% of our toys didn't come back. They got left behind in probably in the sandbox. The diapers for Abby, I was glad that we had those. I don't think she actually peed in them at any point, but when we got to Uganda and she ate way more pineapple than her body was accustomed to, I was really glad that we had those diapers because it got pretty messy for a while there. One thing I wish I'd packed that I didn't was barf bags. Note to self, always have barf bags. Luckily I had, since I packed so many things in Ziploc baggies, I was able to grab a couple of Ziploc bags and hand them to the girls. But when we arrived in Ethiopia, both of them vomited simultaneously. So I was glad that I had 2 plastic bags handy. But ultimately, I think the most important thing when preparing to travel was practicing getting them to calm down, practicing getting them to focus, and letting them know what they were in for, letting them know, well, this is going to be a really long day. We went over and over the different steps. We drive to the airport, we wait in the airport, we fly overnight, we wait in another airport, and then we fly again, and then we get picked up. just sort of going over those steps over and over again, so they knew exactly what to expect and knew that they needed to sort of pace themselves and that they needed to have patience. And we talked a lot about how the hardest things in life are the best things in life are always difficult, and that you can't have good things without something difficult. So it was all in all a really valuable learning opportunity for everybody. And I'm glad we did it. I'm not sure if I would do it again. Ask me once I've been home for a little while. Thanks very much for hanging out with us. Take care.
I'm a traveling spirit, I've seen many shows.